She says, are we sure that we want to promote polygamy under the current conditions in the community? What about promoting the practice of sexual discipline? She then goes to mention 1 in 5 people have an STD, and most of us will absolutely not share.
Okay, couple of things. Number one, polygyny does not mean the absence of sexual discipline. I would even argue that it promotes sexual discipline because it makes men accountable for all the undercover relationships that they're not claiming in public.
Ooh.
I don't need a woman's relationship to have sex with multiple women. We can do that in Atlanta.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you I want plural marriage, I'm telling you I want to be responsible and accountable to y'all. Otherwise, I could stay a serial monogamous for life. Who's stopping you from being a serial monogamous? Nobody. Who's stopping you from being a serial monogamous?
Not a person.
Nobody. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So serial monogamy does not require approval. If I'm saying polygyny, I'm saying I want these two women to come together and meet and see if they can work with me so we can build. And if we look at this economically, if we're trying to fast track black people, because you know the black-white wealth gap like this, if we want to close the black-white wealth gap, take any emotions out, you got to go polygyny. 3 incomes is better than 2. Do you feel me? If you're really looking at this from an economic empowerment perspective, polygyny is the way to go economically. Now, the reason why sisters can't share has nothing to do with being a woman. Because in Africa, they share. In the Caribbean, they share. Black America can't share. Do you want to know why?
Why is that?
The biggest reason polygyny cannot work right now in Black America is not the men. Women are in a competition with each other.
Ooh.
Black women have a worse relationship than black men. And because of that petty, catty, comparing their hair, comparing their body, comparing their clothes, comparing their job, comparing their car, they compare and compete with each other more than we do. So you mean to tell me the same sister I'm trying to outdo, I got to work with her so we can share you? I'm out. She wants to outdo her. She don't want to cooperate with her. Polygyny is communal cooperation between queens. If you competing with black women, how are you going to cooperate? And I tell you another reason why sisters got to at least have the conversation. Because let me be clear. I'm not saying sisters got to accept polygyny forever. It can be temporary. The next 10 years, the next 20 years, till we get out this shit. I'm not saying perpetually. But until we fix this, when black men stop killing other black men because they all got a chance to be successful, then maybe we can stop the polygyny. It's only when there's an imbalance in the male-female ratio. But guess what? Because there's not enough men to go around, sisterhood ain't never been the same. Our sisters' relationship with each other has been impaired by the fact they're competing over the same men. I can't tell you the stories I've heard about sisters taking sisters' husbands, best friend taking best friend husbands.
I've heard that from mom and daughter.
Yes, because it ain't enough to go around. So my thing is this. Here's the eternal question. What are we ultimately doing this for? Are we doing it for ourselves? Or are we doing it for the community? Because if we're doing it for the community, you're going to have to consider polygyny, because on paper, without the emotions, it's one of the best things we can do for some men who can afford to do it in a time-limited fashion. But I agree with what she said, though. I do believe black men have sexually objectified black women so much that I think a lot of us would try to abuse the polygyny.
Whew. So guess what? Dr. Umar is at the bottom of the cliff, and I ain't even trying to get him out. He just need to stay down there. Oh my God, did y'all hear all of that? Some of the things he said was quite true, but other things he said was no go for me. And I don't know what he's talking about. Community, it makes no sense to me. Again, this man started with, well, he's going to end with the fact that if you have a relationship with God, then our community wouldn't be in this situation. We would be better off if you have a relationship with God. Now, do y'all really think, I'm just wondering, that God would really tell you all to go be fornicate with a man and another woman in a polygamous relationship so y'all can build wealth for the community that doesn't exist. Would God approve of that? Now, see, the God I know, the one that you should have the relationship with, he would tell one man to marry one woman and they would build together and they would be blessed. And they would start this community thing that we're talking about, this nuclear family. That's what really starts it. But when you're talking about two women and one man, the nuclear family, really? No. That's not how it works. This is some bad advice. See, this right here, how does a woman, and then guess what? How does a woman profit from this, though? This is what I want to know. But guess what, y'all? He also said, y'all ain't got to stay in it for long. So just go ahead and help me build up some money. And then when the wealth gap, gets even, you remember the wealth gap between the white man and the black man? When it evens out, we ain't got to do this polygamous relationship no more. Really? And I thought you had a plan. Baby, you just got to be here for about 10 years. When we make enough money and I give you a third, we can have a third, you can go on about your business. Really, y'all? This was bad. This was bad. And there's a lot of women that listen to this. This is a lot of women. I don't know if my men are agreeing with this or not. I really don't know. But this is some very bad information. Now, listen, you can do what you want, obviously, of course. But this man ended with, if we have better relationships with God, we are lacking a spiritual relationship with God. This is what he said. If we had a better one, then our community wouldn't be where it is, right? Now he's saying the fact that we need to keep up with them white folks, we need to come in as a man and two women together because the economics is just not working out. We need to make as much money as possible so that wealth gap can be as small as possible. Do y'all really care what the white man is making? Do y'all really care about that? Some of y'all might, but I don't. And I'm telling you, God don't either. But this is the advice that we've been given. See, I'm trying to encourage our men to be leaders, to get their own money, be on their own purpose, have that one wife that helps and supports them so they can be a nuclear family, have kids, and have community, because that's how it starts. He's talking about building a community, but it ain't nothing he said is, what was community? Oh, I know what's community. Oh, Lord. I know what's community related in that scenario. Y'all, that to me was some bad advice. I know some of y'all may love it and think it's great or what have you, but fornication, premarital sex is sexually immoral. Two women listen, y'all gonna be like, it was in the Bible. Yeah, King had it in the Bible, but we haven't figured out. God was not pleased with that. I'm talking about in marriage. In marriage, God says there's one man for one woman. Let's try that first, get it right. Then we can have some kids. Then let's talk about the nuclear family, then community. Then we can see about what we need to do. That's how it should be done, y'all. What about order? What about being decent and in order? Do we not need to be decent and in order anymore?